just arrived from Deshaan. Deshaan sent me. Perhaps you've heard of him? He's the consul for the town of Serk, the Serk. I'm here to spread the word and warn people about the Lodos Plague. It is a terrible sickness that is ravaging the Deshaan countryside. Look, I need to send word to my cousin Dandri. You can find her at the Serk. Can you take this letter to my cousin? I'd appreciate it. Thanks for your help. Make sure you tell my cousin that I'm all right. If you head south, you won't be able to miss the Serk. Tell her I'll return home as soon as I'm able. It's pretty bad. People all over the region are getting sick. And they say that the plague turns the afflicted into monsters. The town consul, Deshaan, sent me to get help and warn other settlements about the plague. Well, truth be told, you're the first person, other than the bandits I've run into, and the afflicted heading for the Serk. There's a lot of them. Word of the curative has spread faster than the plague itself, as far as I can tell. That's what the Mulbun claim. They showed up at the Serk and set up a quarantine. They're offering their curative to anyone who wants it. But Deshaan isn't convinced they're telling us the whole truth. Bandits. They robbed me, roughed me up. But I'll live. And a few bruises won't stop me. I have a plague to warn people about. I wonder, though. One of the bandits had a Mulbun recruiting letter. I saw it sticking out of his pack as he beat me. Deshaan doesn't trust them. Neither does his sister, Arona, as far as I can tell. They do appear to be too good to be true. But they claim to be able to cure anyone afflicted with the plague. That's why they set up the quarantine at the Serk.
It's about time you got here.
Who knew that so many afflicted would flock to the Serk? All these people, they're so sick. A letter from my cousin. That's wonderful news. I'm glad to hear you made it to Stonefall safely. Thanks for bringing this to me, friend.
Where have you been? I've been waiting for you to arrive for days now. Hold on. Are you all they sent? Didn't the Tribunal send you? Well, no matter. I'm just glad you're here. This is Serk, the Serk. The Lodos Plague reached us right before the Mulbun arrived. They claim they're here to help, but I don't trust them. In all the confusion, I'm embarrassed to admit that I lost track of my brother, Deshaan. He's the town consul. Yesterday he went to check on the townsfolk afflicted by the plague, but he's disappeared. Can you help me find my brother? Someone in town must know what happened to Deshaan. He loves to visit and chat with all of our neighbors. Come on. The sooner we find my brother, the sooner I can start thinking about dealing with the plague. Oh, by Vivek! Where are my manners, of course? That's the least I can do since you agreed to help me find my brother. What would you like to know? As the ranking member of House Redoran in this town, he's more or less the one in charge. He's good at it too. The townsfolk look to him for leadership and advice. And truth be told, so do I. You haven't heard about the Lotus Plague? People get sick, turn violent. Some claim they become monsters, but I haven't seen it. At least not yet. The Malborn have a cure. They promised to fix this. That's why we let them set up their quarantine. The Malborn. They're a fairly new sect, as far as I can tell. Part mercenary group, part compassionate charity. They've been helping those afflicted by the plague. They showed up here and set up a quarantine, and now they claim they have a cure. They have members from across Morrowind, and they're always looking for new recruits. I heard one of them speak in Kraganmore. Lot of nonsense, if you ask me. Nostrum Breva is in charge at the quarantine, and she's the one handing out the curative. By the three, this place smells terrible.
Oh, look at me. I'm a terrible mess. You really must excuse my dreadful appearance. I haven't been feeling very well lately. By the way, you haven't seen Nostrum Breva, have you? She promised to bring me more of the Malborn curative. Deshaan, the town consul? Such a nice young man. Why, I do recall that he came to see me yesterday. He said he had other townsfolk to check on, but that he would bring me a curative as soon as he could. The curative? Remarkable stuff. Tastes awful, but wipes the plague right out of your system. One of those delightful Malborn gave me one a few days ago. Nostrum Breva, she called herself. But I think I need another dosage. I may be ill and bedraggled, but I still have my manners. What would you like to know? Oh, I couldn't say for sure. Perhaps the alchemist Nalene would know. I can tell you that I started feeling ill a few days ago, after I drank the Malborn curative. She said that would happen. You have to get ill to get better, the Malborn said. Such a polite young woman, that Nostrum Breva. Claimed they were here to provide the help the tribunal refused to give. They have a curative for the plague, you know. Vile stuff, but the best medicine always tastes terrible, my mother always said.
Uncle, are you all right? You look so pale. No wonder my brother wouldn't let me come by to visit.
Don't worry about me. I'll be back on my feet in no time. But what about you? Your brother said that neither of you had taken the curative yet.
Uncle, I'm not sure about these Malborn, and their curative sounds too good to be true, but don't worry about me. Just take care of yourself.
I see Arona has conscripted a new soldier into her private army. Is Deshaan missing? He was by yesterday for a visit. I know he had other stops to make. He did seem concerned about the Malborn, though. Sealing themselves in their quarantine, no longer providing the curative. It made him furious. My niece's visit was more than enough. I feel better already. Besides, I've overcome worse ailments than a queasy stomach and a bad cough. I'll be fine. A good conversation is like a hot bowl of guar liver soup. It soothes the aches that ail you. What did you want to ask? They call it the Loder's Plague. Maybe Vivek knows where it came from, but I certainly don't. I can tell you that it's going to have to try harder if it really wants to kill me. Or turn me into some kind of monster, if you can believe the stories. Well, I think it was 12 mornings ago. The day the wild Nix got into the brooding elf's trash receptacles. Nostrum Breva had the quarantine up in a matter of days. Then she started distributing the curative. I am a blood kin of House Redderum, if that's what you're asking. More a third cousin twice removed, if you want to be specific. But I've been close to Erona and her family since she and Deshaan were children.
Grell, are you in here? Grell, please! We're your friends! Poor Grell. What in Oblivion's name happened to him? Let's get out of here. The sicker people get, the more incoherent they become, and now it looks like the rumors are true. The Lotus Plague does turn people into monsters. I don't think we're ever gonna find my brother. The quarantine? I guess it makes sense that Deshaan would want to go see what the Malborn are doing in there. And I've yet to see any evidence that the curative works. All right, if you want to go to the quarantine, I'll go with you. The Malborn set up the quarantine around the old graveyard. In the beginning, they were letting people inside and freely distributing the curative, but they closed the front gate a few days ago and haven't responded to any of our requests. Deshaan provided them with the old graveyard key when they first arrived, and I've seen Malborn coming and going through the back gate. If we go to the back gate, I'm sure we can get one of the Malborn to let us inside. Look, it's just like I told you. The Malborn are using the back gate. Let's see if one of them has the key. Hey! What are you idiots doing?
I need healing!
Do we look like plague hunt? Hey! What are you idiots do? Did you see that? They attacked us. And for no good reason. Let's find the key and see what the Malborn are hiding in there.
You have to open those gates eventually, you swits.
By the three, this place chills me to the bones. Let's see if we can find my brother and then get out of here. Deshaan, my brother, what happened to you? By the three, I fear the plague consumes you, brother.
Arona, what are you doing here? It's not safe.
The Maulborn attacked us, and the afflicted are turning into plague husks. Oh, Deshaan, this is dreadful.
The Maulborn is spreading the plague. For some reason, they want everyone to become afflicted. They're not healers. They're monsters.
My brother. The plague boils his blood and ravages his body. I fear he doesn't have much time, but he wants to talk to you. The Maulborn planned this. I thought they were here to help. I knew we shouldn't have trusted them or their promised miracle cure. Do you think so? However slim the chance, I guess we can't give up hope. Isn't that what one of the three is always going on about? Or am I thinking of a Daedric prince? No matter. Deshaan's not dead yet. If Deshaan becomes a plague husk, then I'll handle it. He's my brother. But as long as there's a chance, we have to try. And if the worst comes to pass, I'll take care of it.
The low-dose plague. I have no idea why. But it's clear to me that the Maulborn curative is actually the source of the disease. Whatever they're planning, you have to stop them. That's not important. Get my sister out of here and stop the Maulborn. Destroy the so-called curative and put an end to that mad woman Nostrum Breva. Then convince her. I'm too far gone. I don't want to become one of those things and hurt my sister. Besides, she's a Redoran. She has a duty to the Serk and its people. You are as hard-headed and stubborn as my sister. Vivek, damn you! Fine. Do what you must. But if the unthinkable occurs, I expect you to stop me before I hurt anyone.
Deshaan, you swit! We're not leaving without you.
I hope you know what you're doing. I could become a plague husk at any moment.
All right, we're done here. Pack everything up. We need to regroup with the other Maulborn cadres and deliver this plague to the rest of Deshaan. stop the Maulborn, you fool! We are the cleansing fire that burns across Morrowind!
Glad to see you managed to make it out of the quarantine too. Does that mean those Maulborn fetchers have been dealt with? Not well. Alchemist Naline fancies herself something of a healer, and she's been working with Deshaan and the other afflicted. Hopefully she'll devise a treatment for them soon. Some. She seems confident at least. But what do I know of drafts and elixirs? But tell me, do you think the Maulborn pose a threat to the rest of Deshaan? That's what I'm thinking as well. But maybe your efforts were enough to put an end to all that. For now at least, the Serk is safe. Take this as a thank you for helping us. The Maulborn may have fled the Serk, but the problems they brought with them still linger.